Ana Hernandez, and I decided to do my out of the box experience on homelessness. I chose this topic because I have a lot of questions with it and because I also feel a little uncomfortable with it. For this experience, I decided to go and volunteer at the Bethany House. I know volunteering for only a day won't give me the whole idea of what the life of a homeless is or how they end up in these situations, but I would just like to know a little bit more about it. Um, Hopefully I get to interact with one of the homeless, or I don't know, get to ask them a few questions of how their life is or how they end up as a homeless. um Also, the reasons why I feel uncomfortable with it is because I see a lot of people on the streets asking for money, and I think to myself, like, it's so easy. Why are you asking for money in the streets if you can find a job or you can find help rather than being asking other people for money? Also, like, I see a lot of veterans that they have signs that say that they're a veteran and that they want help from you. And I know that there's a lot of help out there for veterans, and there's no need for them to be asking for money or stuff like that. Just like I start thinking about all of that, and I feel a little upset. And then also with people that say they have a disability, like, there's also help for people that have disabilities. um, Social security, everything that can help them out. There's food stamp, there's a lot of stuff that can help all those people out. And something that makes me upset is that a lot of them lie. Like, they say they're missing an arm or or leg or something. They're in a wheelchair, and then you see them like somewhere else, and they're perfectly fine. Like, they hide their limbs and stuff, and you see them somewhere else, and you're like you get upset because you help them, and they just lie to you. And this is the main reason why I feel like upset about it, like upset about the things they do, the things, just basically the lies they tell you. Hopefully, there at the Bethany House, I get to understand this better. Hopefully, I get a better idea of it, and just to feel more comfortable with it, because in reality, I don't know the true stories behind how many people are there, or the reasons why they don't seek for help in other ways. And that's it. Thank you. I decided that for my homelessness learning experience, I was gonna go and volunteer at the Bethany House to have a first hand view of what it was all about and to learn more about it, to understand the issue more. That unfortunately wasn't true, but I decided that I was still gonna go and look around, maybe interview some people, ask them a few questions. At the beginning, I was kind of hesitant about it. I was also kind of maybe scared. I didn't want to offend anybody. I didn't want to like ask inappropriate questions, or maybe just offend them in any way. I still went. I needed to get out of my comfort zone, and so I could learn more about their situations or understand why they're in that situation. Um, I asked a few people how they ended up like that, and if they were doing anything to better themselves, their lives, or their family. And I found out many amazing situations. I was amazed by their stories. One of them was about a man that had an accident at his job and he became disabled. He wasn't able to work there anymore. He, okay, that led him to depression, and that depression led him to alcohol abuse, drug abuse. That had many other consequences. His wife um, left him. They got a divorce. So he ended up in the streets. He didn't know what to do. He kept abusing of drugs and alcohol, and that was the reason he was there. Other people were kind of the same stories. One of the ladies I talked to, she had a really good job and everything, but the company that she was working for stopped, like it went to bankruptcy, and she didn't have a job anymore. She couldn't find another job, and that led him also to like seek help from the Bethany House for food for her kids, because she does have kids. There were many stories like this. Some of the veterans that were there also like had very similar stories. I have to say I learned a lot from this experience. Like I had never thought that many people like came from like different backgrounds, different situations that led him to like seek help from, like, for example, there at the Bethany House for food, stuff like that. This opened my mind to many things. It helped me to not assume that they just don't want to work, because these people had jobs and they lost them, and it's not easy to just like find another job. I'm very thankful for having the opportunity of learning about homelessness, and I hope to learn about many other things. I feel that the homelessness experience helped me a lot as a future educator. I feel that I can use it in the future whenever I have a classroom of my own. It helped me to learn not to judge anybody or not to assume anything about anybody. As a teacher, you're gonna have a little bit of everything. You have students from different backgrounds, with different religions, different socioeconomic status. You need to learn that you need to treat everyone equally, and you don't need to you don't have to judge anybody for whatever reason. It's important to know how to handle these situations, because you don't want to offend anybody or do something wrong. For example, if you have a student that doesn't have a home, okay, so you need to make some accommodations maybe for that person. Or for example, if he can't take his stuff home because he doesn't have anywhere to go, or like so he can keep some of his school supplies in class, or maybe not to assign homework on a TV show because maybe he doesn't have a TV, or maybe he doesn't, not to punish them because they're late to class, because maybe he doesn't have a way to go to school early, since he doesn't have a permanent address. You know how some students take the bus, and maybe this person doesn't have a permanent address or doesn't have a way to get to school on time. Also, if you don't have a way to contact their parents, always you need to feel everybody welcome, because maybe they're not getting that attention somewhere else. You need to understand that maybe they're gonna need extra help. For example, maybe help from the counselor. You also need to talk to other kids in the classroom to avoid things such as bullying, because if other students find out that a certain student lives in the streets or doesn't have a home, or maybe lives in the orphanage and doesn't have their parents with them, it's something that it's very important to address with children, that it's all about respect, and just little things like that. Even little things such as allowing them to have recess, and not to punish them with like, oh, if they misbehave or something, oh, you won't have recess. No, sometimes that's the only free time they have, or like the only leisure time they have, so they can interact with others. And it's just little stuff like that. I feel that knowing that this experience helped me to learn more about that not everyone's life has been the same, and that you always have to keep an open mind, and the most important thing is not to judge anybody.